Welcome everybody to our City Council meeting. Before we start, we're going to do a couple of proclamations. We're waiting to get on the air and we just went on, so welcome everybody. Quickly, we have our library director here and we have something wonderful going on, the Wonder of Words Month, and why don't you talk about it real quickly about what we're doing.
Well,
whoever's going to speak.
There we go.
The Wonder Words Festival is the first readers or book festival in Des Moines. It's a joint partnership between the Downtown Community Alliance and your wonderful public library system in Des Moines. We've got about 17 events and about 22 dates happening beginning on the 17th, ending about the 29th. And we've got a lot of community partners, including 4 colleges and universities from the region.
This is a wonderful opportunity for us as a governmental agency to cooperate with the businesses of downtown Des Moines to further promote the culture within the Des Moines area.
All right, so in recognition of that, we have the proclamation that reads as follows. Whereas the Downtown Community Alliance and the Des Moines Public Library have partnered to celebrate the written word with the first annual WOW! Wonder of Words Festival, and whereas the new festival will offer entertaining and educational events to feed the brain and the soul, and whereas a variety of activities will be held in numerous locations throughout Greater Des Moines from October 17th through October 29th, including an Iowa Author Fair featuring more than 70 Iowa authors, a presentation by best-selling author Dennis Lehane, and a debut performance from Kate Shelley, a story featuring original works by writer Mary Kay Shanley and composer Maria Newman. And whereas additional writers, forums, author talks, and other literary-related programs will be hosted by the library, Iowa colleges, including Simpson College, Grinnell University, Grandview University, and Des Moines Area Community College. And whereas the WOW Festival receives financial and in-kind support from generous organizations and individuals throughout the greater Des Moines area. Now, therefore, I, the Mayor of the City of Des Moines, on behalf of the City Council and all of our citizens of Des Moines, do hereby proclaim the month of October as WOW! Wonder of Words Month in the City of Des Moines, and I call upon all of our citizens and civic organizations to celebrate the written word and to learn more about the many things that words enhance our citizens' educations, lifelong learning, and quality of life. This is a great event. Let's give them a great applause. Right here, we're going to take a quick photo from you guys. Right here. All right.
All right.
Thank you. All right, Chief DeKip, where are you? Come on up. Right, on their way up, we are going to have firefighters in pink days. Chief, who's going to be in charge?
Captain Francisco.
Yep. Good to see you.
I'm Captain Francisco. I'm also the president of Local 4, Des Moines Association of Professional Firefighters. And I felt it pretty fitting to have October being Fire Safety Month, Awareness Month, and also Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I thought that was a good combination. And so we married up with a local nonprofit to talk about breast cancer awareness, and with Can Do Cancer, with breast cancer being the second most common cancer. Second deadliest. Approximately 225,000 men and women will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year. And of course, on my notes, almost 40,000 people will die this year of breast cancer. So we just want to try and marry it up with, again, as with a local nonprofit to raise awareness, and this is a local event for support for folks with breast cancer. Would you like to speak a little more about it than I would?
About you can do cancer?
Yes.
Sure. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in May of last year and have decided to start a nonprofit organization to help breast cancer patients in the Des Moines area and the surrounding communities with meals on the day of chemo, house cleaning services, motivational support, and a website to really educate people about what they're going to experience, because right after diagnosis, things change pretty drastically in that person's life with surgery and losing their hair and trying to learn about cancer, and just an overwhelming time. So the website kind of puts things in layman's terms about what they're going to experience and how they can be helped.
Our proclamation reads as follows: whereas breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer and the second leading cause of cancer death among women in the United States, and every woman is at risk for breast cancer even if she has had no family history of the disease. But women over the age of 50 are at the greatest risk for being diagnosed with breast cancer. And whereas the Des Moines Association of Professional Firefighters, IAFF Local 4, feel great passion and compassion towards the issue of breast cancer. Firefighters support the firefighters in the Pink campaign in support of the millions of men and women battling breast cancer, the survivors of the 1.5 million people who will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year. And whereas as a part of the Des Moines Firefighters in Pink campaign, the firefighters will be wearing blue duty shirts with a pink logo to bring awareness to breast cancer and breast cancer research. And whereas the city supports efforts such as this that promote education, research, and other means to improve health and quality of life of our citizens, our employees, and guests, via the Firefighters in Pink campaign and programs like it. And whereas the City of Des Moines encourages wearing pink October 9th to the 31st, 2012, in support of the Des Moines Firefighters in Pink campaign, and further encourages consultation with healthcare providers about regular screenings to promote early detection and treatment of breast cancer. Now, therefore, I, the Mayor of the City of Des Moines, on behalf of the City Council and of all of our citizens, do hereby proclaim October 9th to the 31st, 2012 as Firefighters in Pink Days, and hope that you will all respect and support this great effort. Let's give them a great big hand. Let's get everybody in here, Chief, and we'll take a quick group picture.
Yes. Do you have one more?
Okay. Chief. All right, we have, we're keeping all these folks up here because not only do they help on the cancer side, we also are talking about fires. Chief?
This week is Fire Prevention Week. It's a national campaign that talks about the importance of practicing and knowing fire-safe practices in the home. This year's theme is having two ways out, so that should a fire occur in your home, it underscores the importance of being able to get out of your home and having two ways out.
All right. We'll ask everybody to shut off their cell phones if they can. I hear one running, somebody's getting a message or something, so it sort of is somewhat disruptive to, oh, we have a radio. Hopefully it's not a fire. So. It's all good. Says it's all good. I'm going to take a break. All right, the City of Des Moines is committed to protecting those who live and visit our city from the hazards of fire. Fire is a significant public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at the greatest risk from fire. And home fires killed more than 2,600 people in the United States in 2010, according to the latest research from the nonprofit National Fire Protection Association. And fire departments in the United States respond to more than 369,000 home fires. And that's annually, is that correct? Yeah. Residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And only 1/3 of Americans have both developed and practiced a home fire escape plan. And whereas 1/3 of the American households who made one estimate they thought that they would have at least 6 minutes before a fire in their home would become life-threatening, the time available is often much less. And whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half, and whereas the men and women of the Des Moines Fire Department are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education, and whereas the Des Moines residents are responsive to the public education measures and are able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their own homes. And whereas the 2012 Fire Prevention Week theme, Have Two Ways Out, effectively serves to remind us to develop and practice a home fire escape plan during Fire Prevention Week and the rest of the year. Now, therefore, I, the Mayor of the City of Des Moines, on behalf of our City Council and all of our citizens, do hereby proclaim October 7th to the 13th is Fire Prevention Week and urge all of our people in Des Moines to not only respect all of our firefighters and fire personnel, but also let's make a plan for 2 ways out. Thank you all, and let's give them a great big hand again. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. You bet. Great job. You did a great one. We'll start our city council meeting in just a second.
Thanks a lot.
You're gonna go. Okay.
Let's quickly call to order the Des Moines Municipal Housing Agency Governing Board meeting for October 8th. I would ask clerk to quickly take the roll, please. Here.
Moore.
Here.
Reese.
Here.
Mahaffey.
Here.
Hensley.
Here.
Meyer.
Here.
We have four.
Mr. Coleman's over there, too. Item 2 is approving the Des Moines Municipal Housing Agency Payment Standard Recommendation, Board Communication number 12-524. Is there anyone here to speak on this item?
I'll move.
Item's been moved. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Item passes. Item 3 is a motion to adjourn.
Aye.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We sit adjourned. We've gone through our proclamations, and prior to our city council meeting this evening, we're going to have a quick word from our own member, Brian Meyer. And those who would like to participate with us, we would ask that you would stand at this time.
Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
Call the city council meeting for October 8th to order and ask the clerk to take roll, please.
County.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Reese. Mahaffey.
Here.
Here.
Meyer.
Here.
I think Mr. Coleman's.
Yep, there he is.
Mr. Coleman.
See here.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Could we have a motion, item 2, for approving the agenda as presented and/or as amended?
Move.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item passes. Item 3 is to approve the consent agenda. Tonight, these are items 3 through 40. These are generally routine items and will be enacted by one roll call vote without separate discussion unless somebody calls it for clarification or to have further discussion. Either could happen as a member of the council could pull it or a member of the audience. The items this evening, items 4G and 4M, Councilmember Coleman votes no. Item 5, Council members County and Moore vote no. Item 29, Councilmember Hensley wishes to speak. Item 29, Councilmember Grease votes no on Moore. And item 34, Councilmember Meyer wishes to speak. Are there any other items that anyone either at the table would like to pull or somebody in the audience? Yes, sir.
Item 19, please.
Item 19. Any others? Seeing none, could we have a motion for the balance, please? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The items pass. That takes us to item 19. This item was pulled by a member of the audience. It's setting date of hearing on a request from Strollo Development LLC to rezone 2419 Southeast 14th to remove the VDL vehicle display lot overlay to allow expansion of the existing RV sales lot subject to conditions. That hearing will be October 22nd at 12. And hopefully, sir, you have asked this to be pulled, so I'm assuming that you're going to present information that won't be presented during the hearing?
Yes, I'd just like to do a little bit of clarification on the hearing itself. Staff recommended that we come tonight and present that at this time.
Okay.
Again, this is the, I guess it's not on the screen yet, but site plan at Southeast 14th and Lacona. Part of that vehicle display lot recommendation from P&Z indicated a 27-foot setback off of Southeast 14th Street and East Lacona. We wanted to make the council aware that we are going to be requesting a 22-foot setback along Southeast 14th Street and 25 to about, let's say, 26-foot setback along East Lacona.
Okay. Well, is this information, because we're not going to vote on this tonight?
Right. I just wanted to make sure that you understood that we were coming back before you with something that was somewhat different than what P&Z had seen.
Okay.
So before you went to the hearing, we didn't want to bring it to you at that point without, at the next meeting and just have you not be aware of that request.
Point of clarification then, does that, because it's changing from what was reviewed at P&Z and voted upon, does that need to go back to P&Z?
We could move that it do that, I suppose, after we hear it, if it seems like something that, did you get support at P&Z?
We did get support at P&Z. What we're doing, we are showing we're still in excess of the required 20-foot setback. And we agreed to provide additional landscaping over and above what's normally required for the site, for a site. So we're still doing that. Just happened to be a change in the way the units are going to set up. We actually had it set up for a 7-foot overhang for the trailers. But since they're not going to have the trailers, those type of trailers facing that direction, we don't need the 7-foot overhang, so we don't need the additional 7 foot of green space along Southeast 14th Street. So we're trying to get the units closer. But the part of the request from staff was that we show that we are in excess of the required 20-foot setback.
All right, we have staff right behind you. Let's hear what they have to say.
Mayor and Council, Phil Delafield, Community Development Director. Yes, this is a minor revision from what P&Z has heard and their recommendations. So Chuck Bishop has indicated that they'll be working with staff. We wanted to make sure you were aware of that there was a minor revision to what the P&Z recommendation. It's in an effort to make the stormwater management plan work, and we did not deem it significant.
Okay.
I'll move to set the date of hearing.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Item 29. Item 29 is submitting travel and training request for Mr. T.M. Franklin County and Skip Moore, Council Communication number 12-534. Mrs. Hensley.
I'm supportive of travel. I guess what I'd like to do on this particular item is ask that we vote on it in two separate items. And from, just for the record, my view of this is it appears, as I've gathered additional information, that it really is more intended for staff. And I believe that there needs to be a distinction between staff and policymakers. And for that reason, that's why I'm voting against that, because it looks like it's really targeting staff. So if David Johns or somebody else from forestry, that would be fine, but I'm not sure that it's a policymaker role.
I did speak with the municipal arborist. I thought he would be going this year due to the fact that he's been out of town on 2 separate trips, and he's up to his eyeballs in work. He didn't feel comfortable going this year. 2 years ago, I was scholarship to it and made a lot of great connections that we're able to use. Last year, the council paid me to go, and I was able to bring back information from American Forests that we received a $5,000 grant from Global Relief for. I do believe that we need to maintain our presence there. I know the mayor will be there, but he's there in a whole different capacity and working with different people than who I'll be making contact with if I go. I would anticipate that next year David Yon will be attending this conference.
I do see, Hallie, your comment on here, but I wouldn't move the item 29. If it,
Right.
you,
Item 29 is moved.
I'm going to vote against it, but if that's the motion, that's
Okay.
fine.
I keep being reminded of Bob Mickle and what he said our travel budget should be and should be reduced as much as possible, and we get into areas of it is not really council-directed activities. I question it, so.
4 yes, 3 no.
Okey-doke. Takes us to item 34. Item 34 is a Greater Des Moines Partnership. This is approving a payment to the Greater Des Moines Partnership, the Partnership 2012 Investment Campaign Commitment of $100,000, Council Communication number 12-538. Mr. Meyer.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a lot of concerns with the partnership. I don't think that's anything new. I think given the budget situation that we're in, that this is money that could have been spent better elsewhere, or money that could have been put back into the pockets of the hardworking, tax-paying people of the city of Des Moines, instead of being spent on a private organization that, quite frankly, I don't think does a whole lot except promote itself. So my motion on this would be to deny the $100,000 and put it back into, unless there's somebody here to talk from the partnership, the motion would be to deny.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I don't know if there's anybody here from the partnership, but just to provide some additional information on this request here, I, as a representative of the board of the partnership, and not of the Choose Des Moines Communities, which this is where that goes, just really feel strongly that we need to continue to support this. And let me just share some information with the council as to what actually has occurred with that money, because I think it's significant. We actually have 115 new locations that have been established as a result of this. We have 242 job expansions, of which a major one is over Kemin Industries within your ward. We have close to 19,000 new and retained jobs, over $2 billion, $2.7 billion has been invested in capital improvements in the city, and an increase of 13,768,000 square feet. So, you know, to list exactly what all of those are, and I'll be the first to admit, they're not all in the city of Des Moines, because it is a metro-wide investment. But we are out asking for additional dollars for investment for the next 5 years. And I can tell you that based upon these numbers and the reaction we've had, I'm not aware of anybody that's actually turned us down. In fact, we have asked for significant increases from most of the companies, which the larger companies have made significant increases in their investments. So I think it's money well spent. It clearly has an economic return to the city of Des Moines, and I would encourage everybody to support it.
Mr. Coleman?
This is always one of the more frustrating things to vote on, because you wish it didn't require this kind of price tag. I have two comments, though. One, from my position as chair of the MPO, I can tell you the partnership has been integral to the efforts that we've made in Washington, D.C., that's brought in, you know, millions and millions of dollars into our community. They've been a strong partner of ours on some issues at the Capitol, and they've been our vehicle for getting the private sector, you know, embracing some of the projects and strategies and priorities that we have. So it cuts both ways, and I'm not going to make this my fight, because I know that it's a hard issue. What I will say is that it's my understanding, I think Christine just pointed out, that they're embarking on a new campaign for the future. And manager, I think what's really important is that we have some time to talk as a council as to what do we see needing from the partnership. And before we make a commitment for the future, we really talk about what our goals are and how they intersect with the partnership. So the next agreement really does put us front and center as one of their key supporters, stakeholders in their work. And I think if we do that, we can feel better about this partnership every year.
Brian, at this point, I'm tending to vote with you on this, but what I'd like to do, I'd prefer to do, is table this for a couple weeks. I'd like to see us have a workshop in 2 weeks on the partnership so we can see exactly what it is they're doing for us, where the money's going, where they're receiving their money from on this.
I'll accept that friendly amendment, just to be clear,
Okay.
that we table this for 2 weeks.
Bob?
I'm going to vote against the motion because serving on the MPO Executive Board and that, I see what efforts they've done on it with us on the Southeast Connector and other areas, and a lot of other improvements around our city as far as roads and that. So I think that we get a lot more out of this than what we're going to put into it. And I think it's been experience in the past has proven that. So,
Mr. Manager?
Mr. Mayor, council members, just a little bit of background information. This is the fifth payment of a 5-year program where the city has been making these payments for 5 years. There is an opportunity, therefore, as we look to future years, to sit down with the partnership and have discussions about the amount of money and any issues that might be important to this council as we address future relationships. The funds that go to the partnership are used for a variety of things, but two of the programs that they have that are particularly important to us are, first, the Choose Des Moines Communities. That's their regional economic development program. This is where they recruit businesses or in some cases work with existing businesses that are looking at expansion. In short, it buys us a place at the table, which is quite critical in terms of our overall economic development program. Does that mean that things always go our way? No, it doesn't mean that, but it does at least give us insight into those really, really important business decisions that are made that impact jobs and investments in our community. The other thing that goes on with this is Downtown Community Alliance. That's Glenn Lyons' group. Glenn and his staff do a lot of work for us that is almost entirely focused on the city of Des Moines with our downtown. I know they've been active on Ingersoll and in other areas. And again, does everything in that regard happen exactly the way we would want? Probably not, but they are allies of ours in many of the efforts and programs that go on within the city. They also work a lot with workforce development issues that's beneficial to us. So again, this is the last of a 5-year payment. There is an opportunity now, I think, to revisit all of that. If there's an alternative motion, I would be more than happy to arrange opportunities for council to visit with the partnership and the leadership of that group to talk about the future and any particular issues that are important to this council in terms of crafting a future relationship. I do know they are sensitive to our budget situation and to this particular. It is a lot of money. There's just no question about that.
You could fund some libraries with it.
And in that regard, I think there would be an openness to looking at alternative ideas. So it is my hope that you do approve this, but that's not to say that I don't appreciate entirely the issues that council has brought forward this evening. So with that.
Before we vote, I certainly understand the hesitancy on the part of some of our council members to wonder about payments that we make outside of our organization to support other campaigns and commitments that we might make in partnership with others. And I think that one of the things that we can look to is some evidence of the success that we are having in the city of Des Moines is that partnership that we have between local government, the business community, and our citizens. And I think the partnership has worked very hard, not only through Glenn Lyons' group, but the partnership in general to have good relationship, not only between those groups in the city of Des Moines, but in our region. And as a result, what are the outcomes? Our area has recognized much lower unemployment than the rest of the country. We are recognized in ways over the past 5 years, if not a little bit more, for things: #1 place to raise a family, #1 place to have a business, #1 place for young people to have a career, #1 place most recently by Kent Kiplinger's last week to have a family, and that's because of those partnerships. We are working well together, the business community, the citizens, and government, and we're trying to recognize each other's needs because the future of this city is dependent on jobs. It's dependent on the expansion of business. It depends on the vision that people have of what those businesses should be in the city of Des Moines and that communication with the residents so that we have well-trained people, we have significant number of people for employment, and also, by the way, we try to work very closely not only with the K through 12 educators in this area, including the Des Moines Public Schools, but we also work hard with our higher learning organizations. Bob Mahaffey's active certainly with Grandview. We work closely with DMAC. We work closely with Drake University. And all that working together is why this community, I think, works well together. I think the investment that we make, while I think $100,000 is a lot of money in certain respects, it takes a lot of money to make that work. And I think that they have been supportive of our efforts, and we try to be supportive of theirs. And let's hope that we can keep that partnership going on. And as a result, that, especially in relationship to what our manager just said, we have a 5-year commitment. I think that we need to always look at those commitments. We need to understand what each of us play in terms of our parts in orchestrating a good outcome and a good growth for our future. And I think that we need to have that. And Mr. Manager, I certainly would support you bringing together not only a workshop, but certainly bring the business community in and let's discuss how that works together moving forward. But I cannot support the motion as it was put forward. And so at any rate, if we have a vote.
The motion will be to defer for 2 weeks and have a workshop for the next vote.
Yes, 5 no.
I'll make a motion that we move forward and authorize the payment of the $100,000 and also ask that we invite the partnership or the Choose Des Moines group to come in and talk about what has occurred and what they anticipate using funds for in the future.
Five yes, 2 no.
No, right. Thank you. I think these kinds of discussions are healthy. We need to not always be in lockstep on things. I think open discussion in civil discussions is what government in a democracy is all about. And so we look forward to that discussion, Mr. Manager, as soon as you can get it on our agenda. That completes the consent agenda and moves us straight to the hearings. We'll come back to item 41 and 42. The hearing's open with item 43 on an appeal from Barry Archer of 1244 East 17th Court of the Administrative Hearing Officer's decision regarding his dog, exhibits A to C and D to F. Is he here? Please come forward, sir. For the record, if you would please give us your name and address and then
My name is Barry.
State your case.
My name is Barry Archer, and I live at 1244 East 17th Court. And I have just a bunch of reports about my dog, and we've been here before, and I disagreed with the lady, and I have a report here. It's case number 2010-33030, and it's about this girl that said that my dog bit her on the way to school. Well, that's not what happened. She did pet my dog, and we started to walk away, and as we were walking away, she raised her arm up and said that my dog had bit her. And the way I understand it, it was supposed to have been pretty bad. Well, instead of going home a half a block away from where this was supposed to have happened, she walked over a half a mile to school, supposedly bleeding profusely. Now, I checked the girl's arm when she said it happened, and there was no blood, no marks, no scratches of any kind on her arm. And shortly thereafter, I got a phone call from her mother stating that there was $1,600 in insurance payment, that your insurance company had paid it. So I told her to send me the insurance, the bill, and the insurance agent, and his phone number, and then I would make payments. But I've never heard from him again. I've never even seen him again since then. My dog did not bite that girl on the arm. I was right there, and we were walking away when she raised her arm and said my dog bit her. We were headed the other way. And she wasn't bleeding because I checked her arm, and there was nothing on her arm, jacket, any place that predicted a bite. And another case is this 40850. And this is the guy that stated that my dog had gotten off the collar and attacked his dog while we were walking. My dog has never been off his collar. I have a choke chain that has metal prongs on it like this, and it's around his neck, and I have a collar around his neck, and he's attached to both of those. And I'm 6'2", 275, and he's not going to get away from me. He did not attack the other dog. We passed this guy every day for over a year, and we say hi, and I'd say hi to him, and we'd walk on our way. But my dog did not get loose and attack his dog. I was right there. It's never happened. My dog is not that aggressive. And, you know, he said he filed a report, but 11 days later, he files a report after the incident. It happened on the 4th of December, and he didn't report it till the 15th of December. And there's all kinds of stray dogs in that neighborhood. He could have come across any dog, but remembers mine because we passed that morning. But my dog is so secured on his collar that he is no way he's ever going to get loose from me, ever. And one more is this 18745. This guy's name is Mr. Ames. He lives down the street from me. Well, I was at work, and I have a woman that walks my dog at 9:30 and 2:30. And he stated on his police report that my dog is the one that got loose and attacked his dog. Well, in his report from the meeting here we had a month or so ago, he stated that his dog collar was on backwards, and the clasp on his dog's collar was not locked. And his dog, I have 2 witnesses to saw what happened. And the dog that he was walking got off and attacked my dog. Now they say that a vicious dog is part of an unprovoked attack. Well, this guy's dog got off the collar and come at my dog. That's not an unprovoked bite. My dog was doing just what you and I would do, or any other animal would do. He was protecting himself, the lady that was walking him. And I had 2 witnesses that saw that dog get off the collar and attack my dog. My dog didn't get bit, but this guy's dog did. My dog was only doing what he was supposed to do, protect himself and the dog, the lady that was walking him. But on his report, police report, it was my dog that got loose, not his. But in this report, his dog got loose. So I don't know if making a false police report is a crime or not, but sure seems like to me that there's something wrong down here if that guy can say that my dog attacked his and then come in here and say exactly the opposite of what happened. And I'm fighting for my dog right now.
Okay.
I really am. And that guy just flat lied about what happened in his police report. And then he comes down here and admits that his dog did get loose and attack my dog.
All right.
So that's not an unprovoked attack. And the other two, my dog couldn't get off that collar if he tried. I mean, it's a steel collar chain wrapped around his neck. And I've even been told by the vet to make it bigger because I've got it too tight.
Right.
That dog is not going to get off that collar, and I'm not going to
What kind of dog is it?
It's a Basenji boxer mix. Now, this guy's German Shepherd weighs between 100 and 125 pounds. My dog weighs 50 to 55. And this Mr. Ames' dog, he's got a 95-pound dog. My dog weighs 50, 55 pounds.
Okay.
You're trying to tell me that my dog is going to whoop up on something like that? Come on. But I mean, this guy, I don't know why these people made reports. The only thing I can think of is I was the last person they seen, and I just figured that the lady that wanted $1,600, as soon as I told her I was going to contact the insurance company and hospital, that was it.
Okay.
I never heard a word from her, and the guy, German Shepherd, I told him the same thing. Never heard a word from any of them, so I don't.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Archer, Chris, do you have Exhibit 46 and 47? I don't think you addressed that issue.
I don't have it physically.
I got it.
I have it on my,
What is it?
Was the face bites?
Yeah.
be great.
Do we, yeah,
Sergeant Radaba?
That's Piper. That one I'm not contesting because it's, you know, like I said, she come out of the door. My dog was facing east, watching the kids in the park. She come out the door, jumped on his back, put her hands around his throat. Now, what would you do if I'd done that to you? If I come up behind you without you knowing it, jumped on your back.
Okay, let's we appreciate that. Any other question, Bob?
No.
Sergeant? Sergeant, we heard the testimony from Mr. Archer. He made a number of statements. There's a lot of exhibits here. Seemed to be quite a number of incidents. I think, what is it, 5? Could you kind of quickly summarize what we're doing here?
Yes, sir. On August 19th of 2012, Mr. Archer's brindle and white-colored male boxer and shepherd mixed-breed dog named Sergeant Bubba bit a child in the face when the child went to hug the dog and startled it, as he mentioned. Caused a laceration to the child's chin. At the hearing, Mr. Archer and the child's mother both talked about how the dog knew the child knew the dog, and actually they both said it was kind of unusual for the dog to do this. In regards to the November 4th incident, a dog owner claimed that while walking his dog, Mr. Archer's dog slipped out of its collar and grabbed his dog by the neck until it passed out. Mr. Archer claimed that his dog never touched the other gentleman's dog. However, the other gentleman provided veterinary records for treatment of a laceration to his dog's neck. At the hearing, the other dog owner said he periodically meets Mr. Archer, and I took that to mean as he passes him and walking, and so he knows Mr. Archer and his dog. So it wasn't as though it was a stray dog, as Mr. Archer suggested. On July 27th, 2011, Mr. Archer's dog went after and bit and killed a stray cat that was in his yard. At the hearing, Mr. Archer suggested that maybe his dog didn't actually attack the cat, but there certainly was a necropsy report that indicated the cat died of the wounds sustained by a dog attack, and also Mr. Archer's dog had scratches consistent with getting bit or scratched by the cat. On June 14th, 2011, another dog owner claimed that Mr. Archer's dog bit his dog. That is the one Mr. Archer spoke about. The dog owner, I don't know if there was a misunderstanding in the initial report that he said Mr. Archer's dog got out of its collar, but that gentleman did come in, did testify at the hearing, did clarify the issue that his own dog got loose, went over to Mr. Archer's dog, but ultimately Mr. Archer's dog bit the other dog, causing a puncture wound. And then also it's important to mention that the reporting person in that bite on June 14th, 2011 said a child was walking Mr. Archer's dog. Mr. Archer commented to the animal control officer that a neighbor kid was walking the dog. So we've got somebody other than Mr. Archer walking the dog. On October 11th, 2011 was the incident where a child was walking to school and walked by Mr. Archer's dog, and when she went to pet the dog, Mr. Archer's dog jumped up and bit the child's arm. The child went to Mercy Hospital for treatment, but there was no indication of bleeding profusely. I don't know where that came from, but there was no indication to me that there was any bleeding profusely. But there is every indication that his dog jumped up and bit the child's arm. With all of these bites, I think I would be remiss in not doing something to get Mr. Archer to keep his dog from biting another animal, a kid, anybody. The dog was declared vicious, which allows him to keep the dog, but he has to confine it properly, and he has to maintain insurance on the dog so that if the dog does bite yet again, that hopefully that insurance will cover whatever medical bills there may be. So that's what brought us here.
Mr. Coleman? Can you speak just to a minute why you chose the vicious and not the dangerous categorization?
The dangerous would cause the dog to be euthanized. There are some of the cases where the cat was running at large and in Mr. Archer's yard. The other gentleman's dog came over to Mr. Archer's dog. I took that into consideration, and that's why it was vicious. I declared it vicious, not dangerous. I gave Mr. Archer some benefit of the doubt on this. Like I said, it does allow him to keep the dog, but there are certain requirements in him keeping the dog properly restrained.
Any other questions?
I would make a motion if there's not questions. I think based on the evidence, there's 5 different incidents here of Mr. Archer's dog either attacking or allegedly attacking children and/or animals. Quite frankly, if it were my decision, I probably would have declared the dog danger. I just can't handle seeing photos like that of kids getting.
So your motion is to declare it dangerous and not vicious?
No, I'm going to uphold the administrative hearing officer's decision. I think Sergeant Rodabaugh deals with this on a regular basis, and I'm going to defer to his discretion. But if it were my decision, I would declare it dangerous. But I'm going to uphold the hearing officer's decision. That'd be my motion.
Mr. Lester, can you speak to what our authority is at this point in the process to even consider the dangerous?
Council would not have an opportunity to consider whether or not it's dangerous. This is on appeal from a designation of the dog as vicious. So.
Okay.
Well, I'm on the record as Hallie, as I mentioned this to Christine a minute ago, and I asked a minute ago about that because it scares me to let the dog be on the streets again. Yeah. I hope our animal control folks are very attentive to the situation over there at East University and East 17th.
I support Mr. Rodabaugh. He sees this on a regular basis, and I think with the proper controls on this dog that and Mr. Archer can provide the insurance and control the dog, I think we need to support Mr. Rodabaugh.
Okay. We have a motion?
I'd make the motion we support. Or did you already make it?
Yeah, Hallie did.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Sergeant, if Mr. Archer has any questions, he does get to keep the dog, but there are certain cases. We'll welcome back our other council members. And we'll move on to item 44.
Right, what if that was our very last appeal?
On conveyance of an overhang electric line easement to Mid-American Energy Company on the city-owned property along the eastern edge of the Guthrie Avenue Detention Basin for $100. Council Communication number 12-526. Is there anybody here to speak on this item?
If there's no speakers, I'll move item 44.
Yes.
Item 45, on the 2012 ADA Sidewalk Ramp Program, Contract Number 3, resolution approving the plan, specifications, form of contract documents, engineer's estimate, and to receive and file the bids and designated the lowest responsible bidder as MPS Engineers, PC, Umesh G. SHETYE. President, $405,000, $405,530. Council Communication number 12-529A, approving the contract and the bond. Anybody here to speak on this item?
Are these projects that agreement to get these done and on schedule?
Yes, they are. Mr. Coleman, yes, they are.
Are they at a variety of locations throughout the city?
I believe the answer is yes. Jeb is nodding his head yes, so.
Okay.
Your motion?
Move.
7 yes.
All right, let's note that we are ending the hearings at 5:23. All right, takes us back to item 41, which is a ordinance first consideration amending Chapter 74 of the Municipal Code regarding the Brenton Skating Plaza ice rink fees. A is a final consideration of the ordinance above. The waiver is requested by the Park and Recreation Department and requires 6 votes. Council Communication number 12-532. Is there anybody here to speak to this item?
Members of council, my name is Glenn Lyons. I live at 3316 Southern Hills Drive, and I'm the CEO of the Downtown Community Alliance. We've been assisting the Riverfront Development Authority in the management of Brenton Plaza the last couple of years and working with your Parks Department. As you know, we're trying to balance raising enough funds from skating to operate the facility properly with ensuring that that the residents of Des Moines have an opportunity to skate, particularly those that fee is dearer to. And so we've looked at a modest increase in the rates, primarily for adults and children during prime skating times on the weekend. But we've also recommended continuation of our reduced skating programs and our free ticket programs that go through the Parks Department. We've actually reduced one of the family passes as well. The Brenton Skating Plaza has lost about $500,000 in its 5 years of operation. Much of that was in the first couple of years, but it still continues to lose small amounts of money, and we think that this adjustment will make the difference. The fees were last raised 2 years ago by 50 cents. Council reviewed it at that time, and prior to that increase, the skating plaza was drawing about 30,000 people a year. Last year, with good weather and those higher rates, it drew 40,000. So the plaza's working well. We're hoping that this increase will work to have that financial stability. We don't believe it's so great that it'll harm the skating attendance, and in particular, we think our programs will assist those in need, children in particular, to have the free skates and the reduced prices that they need to have to be there.
Glenn, isn't it correct that we're also reducing the season pass?
Yes.
Slightly?
From $75 to $50. We found that people weren't using it. It wasn't that much of a deal. You really had to skate a lot to take advantage of it. And so we dropped it by 33%, hoping that we would see more use from people who like to skate every week.
All right. Any questions? Anybody else in the audience to speak?
I'll move it, 4151A.
Glenn, thank you.
7 yes.
Item 42 is from Don Bergmayer of 1101 21st Street to speak regarding an adverse decision made by an administrative hearing officer on September 19, 2012, and to continue to the October 22nd council meeting. I'm assuming Mr. Bergmayer is not here. So the motion, I think, is to continue to that date to hear his concerns.
7 yes.
Takes us to item 46, which is the development of a dog park at 3520 Hubble Avenue. Council Communication number 12-536. It's my understanding that this is one of the properties that formerly was a mobile home park, and as a result of the flood was taken out and is going to be put back into good use as a dog park. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, Bob?
Seeing none, I think this is well deserving for the east side over there and a good use for the FEMA property. It's got to maintain a green space, and I will move item 46.
All right, item's been moved.
And you already, it's my understanding there's already some private dollars that have been committed to this, correct?
Yes, verbally, there's been some dollars. Mr. Conlon has stepped up, and we're talking an additional, or maybe a little bit more.
Great.
7 yes.
Okay, item 47 is items regarding property in the vicinity of 900 Mulberry Street, which is Central Fire Station Number 1. A is directing the Community Development Department and Planning and Zoning Commission to consider rezoning, and B is setting a date of hearing on the sale by installment contract of the city-owned property to the Des Moines Social Club for $600,000. That hearing will be on October 22nd of 12, Council Communication number 12-540.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes. I believe that essentially what we have here is two different motions. One is the direction, we can take them both at once, but the one is essentially to refer it to the Community Development Director and Plan and Zone, and the other set the date of hearing for the other piece. So I don't know that we need to
Any discussion?
extend discussions.
Right. And I understand that I was asked to put the item on so that it would be council directed, so that we could get the zoning all to be the same, because there were some inconsistencies there. So that would be the reason for item A. Item B, I'll move both 47A and B with the addition, though, that we have a meeting with representatives from Des Moines Social Club before the hearing of October 22nd, just to have ongoing discussion regarding questions that we have before final action is taken on the 22nd. And that would be important to have representatives of the board of the social club participating in that discussion.
Okay.
I agree.
All right.
7 yes.
All right, item 38 is the third renewal agreement and amendment to the concession agreement with the Riverfront Development Authority, the RDA, for the Brenton Skating Plaza, Council Communication number 12-537. Anybody here to speak to this item? See head shaking no. All right. Do we have a motion? Is there a motion?
We figured you tipped them off.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item passes. Could we now have a motion to adjourn as City Council and reconvene as Board of Health? It's been moved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We now sit as Board of Health. Item 1 is approving the legal department to proceed with court action seeking authority to abate the public nuisance at the following locations. A, 708 Hickman, it's a fire damaged main structure and a garage structure. And B is 1509 East 36th Court, a fire damaged main structure, garage structure, and accessory structure. Anybody here to speak to either item A or B? Seeing none, could we have a motion to approve the legal department to proceed with the court action necessary?
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Items pass. Could we have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We said adjourn. Thank you all for attending.
You missed it.